Bobby Albert on from time to time. He is a workplace culture expert in Wichita Falls, Texas. I love your accent. I love your demeanor. Bobby, this segment talking about what not to do in the workplace, and I would suggest that bringing cocaine or marijuana would be right up there with talking politics and Donald Trump. It's just not a good thing to do.
Well, one thing about talking politics in the workplace, it's always been there. But if I may share this, is our country was founded on two core values, and that is freedom and responsibility, talking about personal responsibility. And talking politics in the office can impact, most likely negatively, your career. And, before this election, people took responsibility, personal responsibility, when they talked politics to respect and dignify the other person of a different political viewpoint. But somehow this election brought the worst out of us, and people have lost this personal responsibility, and they're more interested in putting down somebody rather than lifting them up. They're more interested in the speck in your eye rather than the plank in my eye. They personally attack people rather than the issues, and sadly, all of this is driven by our national leaders who are setting the example, and the media is also following along with it.
Okay, but the bottom line is to be smart. This isn't about free speech. It's being smart at work. What you need to do is play the game, and if you're a liberal, you're a liberal. If you're conservative, you're conservative. It just isn't the place to bring it up and get in an argument, because you say, well, it seemed fine when after. That's fine, but there's going to be these things in their brain that they hold on to, and there's resentment that they whisper about you. You just can't. These days it is too vitriolic, too hateful to just, let's talk about the weather. It's raining in Champaign. Let's talk more about that. But you just have to, you have to understand that you got to check the political passion at the door if you're smart.
Well, exactly right. And I've written a blog that's posted on my website. I talk about these very things, is that, we've got this freedom down. Because just look, everyone is talking about what are my rights, But the other side of the coin is this wonderful freedom we have to speak our mind and express it, is the personal responsibility, is how we say and do things. And if we're not careful with it in the workplace, and it should be driven initially by the leader of the company, because he's trying to pull a team together, and these kind of things, because just like you were touching on, talking politics has become such an emotional issue. Yeah. It can divide a team. And I can assure you, I've seen it before, is when a team gets divided, you see it in sports all the time, is that customers are not going to be delighted and profits are going to decline.
Well, and you just have, when you're talking about something so emotional, so passionate right now, people don't forget comments. They just hold on to them, and they label that person as that. And then it's just hard to climb over that. It really is.
Well, exactly right. And that's the reason why we want to be careful. And probably the best policy is just don't say anything, particularly in these times right now, because of it being such an emotional issue right now.
I wonder if anything ever changes with this, Bobby. It just seems like we're on a bad trajectory.
Well, exactly right. And this is one thing I'm very concerned that is that we have violated our core values that this country was founded on. And we, like I say, we got the freedom down. It's the other side of the coin of taking personal responsibility in not only what we say, but how we say it.
Yeah, no question about it. And again, we are living in a very contentious time, and we're seeing example after example. We're right here at the University of Illinois, but we're seeing examples. Certainly Berkeley's struggled with this, of allowing everybody to speak. Now you have to, if you can speak as long as it's not hate speech, and I don't disagree with you, and then you can speak. Otherwise, we're going to shut you down. And that we've never had that.
Well, exactly, and we don't want to lose that. But if we don't get a handle of this personal responsibility, you can. When you dig into our culture as a country, there's a good chance, and it almost sounds impossible to say this, that we may lose that freedom of expression.
Bobby, always a pleasure. Where can people find Bobby Albert?
Thank you for asking, at BobbyAlbert.com. It's pretty simple.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you always.
Thank you.
Wichita Falls, Texas. I have no idea where that is. Where is Wichita Falls, Texas? BobbyAlbert.com.